And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wheel Talk, the podcast with a guy with a hurty willy and a
Ow.
girl in a wheelchair.
Who does not have a hurdy willy?
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
God.
yeah. So we
Uh,
were just, I was cathing in my bedroom, and I forgot that I was linked up, and I was like, ow, ow, oh, ow, oh, ow. And Brittany could hear everything, and I didn't realize that she could hear everything, and she was like, oh my God. So yeah, another week, another hurty willy.
so did they? Yeah, we're just gonna jump right into this hurdy willy conversation. So is that what happened last time? Like it was never a UTI, it was just urethral trauma, and this has just gotten worse, or?
No, I'm pretty sure the antibiotics like cleared up the infection that I had. This is just I've had it before, like so I've basically to catch everyone up with actually what's going on. I think I've given myself urethral trauma again, which is basically when the catheter goes in, it's like nicked the urethra somehow, and it's I'm bleeding from the dick. Essentially, it's
Ow.
quite alarming when you see like blood coming out and there's blood in the catheter and stuff, and it's yeah, it's not very nice, but and it hurts a lot, but it's temporary. It's kind of temporary. Like I'm hoping that it heals on its own. Like I've had this before. I made like a very funny YouTube video about it like years ago, and I actually had to go to hospital and they gave me an indwelling catheter while it healed. But yeah, I just it's just nicked the urethra, and it so I did one. We went to the lake earlier on for a picnic, and it was such a painful one that I had to do. And then I did one earlier on, and it went straight in and out, and there was no blood. I was like, oh, amazing! And then I just did one then, and I was like, oh, ow, ow. So I just don't know what That's life, man. One time it goes in straight away, and the other time it's ouch. So
Yeah, it must be like the angle or something, and it just hits the part that's like actually cut or whatever. But I did a video on the dangers of catheterization, and they were pretty much all for men. Like women have, women have much higher risk of UTI because our butthole is close to our urethra, whereas that's not necessarily as big of a factor for you guys. But urethral trauma is way higher likelihood for you guys, and so yeah, it's something to watch out for sure. And you guys can get like strictures, which is like scar tissue, and eventually the catheter just doesn't go in at all, so then you have to have a suprapubic catheter. So yeah, there's lots of things that like you have to watch out for as a man and just to be careful about, which is why hydrophilic catheters are like super important for males, which you use, and
yeah,
you
yeah.
still got it, but it doesn't like totally take it away. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah, so
definitely crazy.
I didn't want to start on that, but I just thought it was funny because we were talking about it literally just as it started, and you overheard me wincing in pain. So yeah, if
Uh,
anyone else has had that experience, drop it in the comments because I'd love to hear about your experience with urethral trauma. It really hurts so much.
it's really crazy, and this actually just like ties in with what we were going to talk about. My friend Brian, who actually just passed away last week, but he had one of his like big health problems that was actually like better in the last few years was a thing that happened that started with urethral trauma, and he had like so many surgeries on it. And if you guys remember on Push, I just like happened to be wearing the hat today. The show that we were both on, part of his like one of his episodes was him going to the emergency room because an infection that was a result of the urethral trauma that just kept coming back had burst, and it was like really disgusting and stuff. So yeah, so he's like one of those people that would always say like be really careful about any urethral trauma. Make sure it heals, make sure you're doing your like cathing properly and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think I will take it seriously. I will take it very seriously because it is like I say, it does hurt a lot. So yeah. Anyway, is there news about Brian? I think we could start. We could start there.
Sure. Yeah. Because the last week, I guess we were sort of talking. Brian had mentioned when he came on that it was like nearing his last days. So he did pass away last Wednesday. I'm really sorry. I'm trying not to cry. Um, on the 12th. And so now it's just funeral planning. And I'm so honored that I get to be part of a group of awesome girls that are his best friends. And we get to plan his celebration of life. So, yeah, I'm sorry to report that he has passed away, but he was so happy and at peace on his last day. And just really ready to go, which is, it's a very strange thing for me to like it. This week has just been crazy with knowing somebody is there and so full of life. Like he wasn't sick. So everybody that I've known that's died has been either sick or old,
Yeah.
very close to me, but it's been a very weird feeling to know somebody was just laughing, smiling, and then just not there. And yeah, he like had some goodbye messages for people and everything. So like he planned so much stuff, and it just feels like weird that I can't just like pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, guess what? We're doing this." Or yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really sad. It's nice to hear that he was at peace, though, because I remember when we did the podcast with him, I said I thought he would be more at peace. But then it's nice to know that he was at peace at the end, you know? Yeah.
He was. I think he was also just a little tired. You know, when you're saying goodbye to people a bunch and all that stuff, like it's just emotionally draining. So he was totally at peace, but also just like kind of tired of the emotional toll that the whole situation had taken on him, his family, everybody. And it was just, yeah, it was time. It was just time to end this chapter and begin a new one
Yeah.
wherever he is. And yeah.
It's really funny because he had such a good sense of humor, even like right at the very end. I remember him saying, "Right, I gotta get out for a cigarette," and I was like, "Oh, mate, smoking will kill you." He's like, "Hey," you know, like it was just such a great sense of humor right up until the end. And well, I don't know, it's just yeah, he's just a beautiful, like I can say, that was the first time I actually hung out with him, you know. But like seeing him on the podcast that you did with Brian, the other Brian, it's just he had a really lovely energy about him and a fantastic story. So yeah, really, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
bittersweet, isn't it?
It is really bittersweet for somebody that's so full of life to want to end his life. Is just really, it's such a weird contrast. And I was talking about this when we were thinking about what to talk about on this podcast, is just that there's so many contrasts in life that are so oddly like, you know, they're beautiful, but they're just at odds with each other. Like Brian, so full of life and yet wanting to die. um but he was so funny. He was such a funny guy. The last picture that he took, or I wasn't there, but another friend took a picture of him, and he wore a shirt that said, "I'm not growing old, I'm becoming a legend." And like the shirt's supposed to mean like people that are getting old are becoming a legend, but he's so funny that he wore it because he's like, he's definitely not getting old, but he is becoming a legend. Like he just is really funny, and wore that shirt like to die because he's like, yeah, I don't have to grow old, I'm just becoming a legend. So I
Yeah.
thought it was funny. And yeah, just an amazing personality. And already like the Canadian news wants to do a story on him. Like he's just an amazing person that's accomplished so much stuff. And you don't really think about that when you're friends with him, because he just seems like a regular old guy. But then you like Google his name, and he's got like article after article after article, pages on Google about him. And yeah, the minute he passes away, like the media is like, "Oh my God, Brian McPherson passed away, so we better do a big story on him." And
Yeah.
it's cool.
I wonder in what light they'll paint it in the media, because like obviously that they'll probably go for some sort of angle. I don't know whether they know
Yeah.
the true reason, or whether they'll say it because it was his disability. I guess it was certainly to do with his disability, but you know what I mean. It's such a grey area. It's not like because he was disabled. It was because there
Yeah.
was lots of complications.
I do believe that that will be part of the story. I don't think that Brian was ever one of those people to like hide anything. And he was very transparent. Obviously, he came on my YouTube channel. We did an interview about 2 months ago where I took like a couple hours of footage that I'll make a video out of and that we'll use for some of the, you know, things in his celebration of life. But he was very honest about his journey and about, you know, what he might have changed in his life that might have prevented this outcome. And one of the messages that he was like telling everybody before is like, take care of your body. So I think he wants that message to be out there more, that like you only get this one life, and if you don't have your health and you don't have your mental health and you don't have, you know, pain management and all that stuff, that becomes intolerable when you have challenges. So I think that will be part of the story. His mom is going to do part of the interview, and then Bean, our other friend who was like, the major star of Push, she's going to do the bulk of the interview. And I know that she has that message to send to people that Brian left with her. So yeah, I don't think it's nobody's hiding that he died this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, he was a good egg, and
He
he'll be
was
well
totally a good
remembered.
egg. He was
Yeah.
totally a good egg and will be well remembered. Yeah. But yeah. Lots of new beginnings though. I mean, it's crazy that something can end and all these other things can be going on at the same time that are brand new beginnings. I have a new baby nephew. Um,
Oh, yeah, you do. You do. You went to visit him
on the
last.
weekend.
Yeah. Tell me more.
Yeah. Which was super weird because I was sad, but also so excited. And he's just amazing. Like I love my nieces and nephews so much. And my one niece is little, like she's 3, and her baby brother is just maybe a month old. Yeah, like a month old, and yeah, just adorable. And I was so worried because I'm like always weird about holding babies, even though I had totally the circle of life. Marco commented the circle of life. I'm always weird about holding new babies, even though like I had 2 of my own
Yeah.
and I was totally fine. But I'm like, I have like crappy balance, and I'm like, I don't want to drop somebody's baby. But my sister-in-law is so cool. Like she is just the most awesome person around about my disability, and just would never make me feel bad about anything. So I was like, I want to hold the baby. And so like I got the like nursing pillow the way I would normally do it when I had my kids. And he sat on me for like an hour, even though he's kind of a grumpy bum. He's like got a
Oh,
little bit of a grumpy streak, and he was like so chill, and he sat on me. Had him sitting up, and we were just like hanging out. So that felt really good.
and how
Um,
old? How old is he?
he's maybe like a month old. I'm trying to like think of when exactly he was born, but
And
maybe
what's his
yeah.
name?
I'm not gonna say his name just because my
Oh,
sister-in-law and brother are a little, they're very like anti-social media and stuff like that, which I totally respect. So I'm just gonna not say his name, but he's very cute.
okay,
Yeah.
that's really sweet. So I'm like, you've had 2 children, so I wouldn't assume anyone would have any issues giving you a baby. But I'm surprised when people give me a baby. I'm like, crikey! Like, not only do I not have any experience with children, I'm in a wheelchair. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm like, this is like your most precious possession ever, and you're just gonna give it to me. And I was like, okay, yeah. So. I've got the lovely picture on my thing there of like me with the baby.
Oh yeah.
I was
Oh,
wheeling
that's so
around. Just oh, that was a really fun day. Yeah, that baby was called Alfie, and yeah, that
oh.
was. I guess he might be like a year old or something, and I was just wheeling around with him. It was so lovely, and I was just like, oh, amazing. If this would be me if I was a dad, but then. There's so much more. Someone gives you a baby for 45 minutes, and you're like, "Oh, this is amazing!" But then you actually have one, and you're like, "Oh, that's such a world of difference." Having
Yeah.
one, and then just being given one for a bit. So yeah.
I know my sister-in-law was talking about her sister who came to visit and is like the best auntie ever. And she was like, I love your kids so much, but I also love going home and binge watching TV without like having a crying baby. But
Yeah.
everybody has those, like everybody thinks it's so hard. Um, but it's not once you get it. I'm actually more terrified about getting a puppy. This just like was a good segue than I was about having a kid, because I'm like, I know nothing about puppies, and Jamie is like
Oh.
just had her heart set on a puppy. So we're getting a puppy, and
Yay!
I don't know how to train a dog at all. Do you guys want to see the dog though? The puppies?
We
They're not ready for
absolutely.
5 weeks, but this is the puppies.
Ooh.
They're
Oh.
miniature long-haired dash hounds.
Oh. Sweet. They're so
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, so it should be
Oh, that's
pretty
really
cute.
sweet. Yeah.
Um but yeah, I'm more terrified because like a baby, I don't know, I guess a dog probably understands more than a baby.
Yeah.
But
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know how
Well,
to I don't.
if you want any tips, Christina is a dog behaviorist, and I did 2 videos on how to train a dog from your wheelchair on my channel. Shameless plug, but they are pretty decent. But I'm sure that you'll have a lot of help. But like I say, if you there's some resources available online. Fredo the
Yeah.
wheelchair guy, how to train a puppy from a wheelchair or something like that. Wheelchair puppy training. That's what it's called.
Oh,
Good little
sweet.
video, and I absolutely adored making it. It was my friends. They went on holiday for 2 weeks, and I remember when I had Luna, I did so much dog training, but I didn't capture any of it really. And I thought, oh, these guys have gone on holiday for 2 weeks. They're letting me look after their dog. I'm going to train it. And I trained it to run along next to my wheelchair, taking it for walks, all sorts of stuff. Told it to roll over. And it was like really good, lots of like a montage of clips when he finally like rolled over. And I was like, yes!
You did
It
that
was,
in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I did a lot in 2 weeks
Wow.
actually. Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not afraid. I'm just because Jamie, it's mostly gonna be Jamie's dog, which I told her she has to be responsible for it, but she's gonna be at school 6 hours a day. So I'm gonna be potty training the puppy and
Yeah.
doing all the things to make sure that like the commands and all of that are consistent. And I'm just like, oh, I'm scared, but I'll probably fall in love with the dog and then,
Yeah.
it'll be good. But I'm just a little nervous about it, just like anybody would be with a baby or whatever. It's something that I've never done before.
Yeah.
So I've had cats, just not dogs.
Yeah.
And cats are easy. They just put a litter
Yeah.
box and they pretty much ignore
Cats are
you.
also dicks.
They are.
They're
And you
such
can't.
dicks. Like we've got a cat, we've got Greta, and sometimes Bonnie will just be like running around, like we're just like, "What's up?" And then Greta will just be in her bed, and like Bonnie won't kick her out, so she's just such a knob sometimes, and she meows like outside the window when she wants to come in or go out, and like in the middle of the night, and Bonnie is an amazing dog, but Greta, she's just a cat. She's not like that much of a dickhead. She's just a cat, and just cats are just
Yeah.
generally dickheads. So yeah.
I know. I had one cat that was really awesome and she was just like really quiet and didn't bother anybody. She was like really liked her space. And then I had another cat that was just an asshole. Like he was, if you did not pay attention to him, he would like pick at the carpet and scratch at the
Oh.
door and meow incessantly. And like if he wanted pets, he would like, you weren't sitting there without him getting in your face and all over you.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh
Yeah.
my God, get out of here.
The other
But-
thing about Greta is that she's a bit of a pest. Like, a pet. Like, there's a difference between a pet and a pest. A pet, you give it shelter, a roof over its head, nourishment, and it should give you affection in return. That's all you need to do is give affection, and we'll give you
Yeah.
shelter and food, right? This cat, we have to keep the door of the kitchen closed because it will like rummage through the bin like a raccoon, like a pest. We came home the other day and it had somehow, I have no idea how, opened up the cupboard where we keep the food and like was like it slashed into like the meaties and like was it, and I was like, what are you doing? It was even like just before we started the podcast, it was trying to get to the chicken wings that we cooked, and I was like, it. Honestly, it's you don't want to live. You don't want to live on edge, do you? That is like a pet. You're not fulfilling your role as a pet. Where's the
Yeah.
affection? You're stealing our food every time we look the other way. You're like trying to steal stuff. That's a pest. So yeah, just not cool.
That's hysterical. And my cats were not like ones to eat like human food ever, really. Like,
Oh.
that's hilarious that she just goes through like the bins. That's so funny. James is asking what's Jamie gonna name the dog? The two names that she was toying around with yesterday are Winnie and Lola.
I like both of those. We were looking after a dog recently called Winnie. Do you remember the big white Labrador?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember? I was like, welcome
Yeah.
to Will Talk, the podcast
Oh, yeah.
with a guy with a
Totally.
big white Labrador. Yeah,
Yeah.
Winnie. Winnie's a nice name. It's got like 2 syllables, Winnie. So like Winnie, it's kind of like Bonnie. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like Winnie. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. So we don't get the dog until like December 27th though, because the puppies are just very little right now. So they're not ready for 5 weeks, but
It's
that's
a
fine
Christmas
with me.
dog. It's a Christmas puppy.
Yeah, a very expensive Christmas puppy. I'm like,
Oh,
I
wow.
did not know that dogs were this expensive. And if it were up to me, we'd be going to the Humane Society. And I'm like, maybe one of those dogs will pick you. But she's like, wants this dog. And I'm like, what? Why? But I'm just like, that's crazy how expensive dogs are. Like, what?
Yeah.
I
Although this might be an unpopular opinion, but I would say, me personally, I would always get a puppy because you can train the puppy and mold the puppy into the dog that you want it to be. Especially because, and I use it as an excuse, but I will use it as an excuse because I'm in a wheelchair. I can't run across a field if the dog runs away, right? So I need a dog that's like obedient, can come back, like the recall is on point. And for me, that is like getting a puppy and molding it into like the perfect dog, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if you get a dog that's a rescue, you might get lucky, but also they're in the
Probably
rescue
not.
center for a reason, probably.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, I've been to rescue centers and they don't look like good eggs. They kind of, again, there's probably an unpopular opinion, but like all the dogs there, I was just like, well, Jesus, I'm not going to get that dog. It looks like it's going to fucking kill me. Like, it's like, rah, 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 rah. I was like, no way, buddy. Sorry, but you look like a jailbird. You're going to be in here for life. Sorry. I didn't see any personally, like, that were worth rescuing. But I'm sure that there's some exceptions. And there are people that are capable of doing that, but like when you already have that limitation of being in a wheelchair, I've always preferred getting a puppy, just having the dog, like you say, you can mold it from, like when I had Luna, she loved running next to the wheelchair because I was drilling it. Like every day we would run up and down next to the wheelchair. And I remember when Lou went to the UK, I've told this story before, but yeah, it's worth mentioning again. That we were walking through a busy town, and she said, "Oh, do you want me to take Luna? Because normally she gets like really crazy like in the town." And I'd been separated from Luna by maybe a year at this point, but because she remembered the wheelchair from a puppy, when we were walking through, she was just like completely well behaved next to the wheelchair, and I was like, "Good girl, Luna." And so she like really knows that when Daddy's in the wheelchair, she was just like right. It was great. I just love that. So yeah. I would always get a puppy.
Yeah, that's what Joe said. Like he was just like, yeah, he's just like, I don't want to like get a dog that has issues and then we have to fix them and all of that stuff. But I just the like, I don't know. I'm so like, I've never had a rescue dog, so I have no idea whether they're trouble or not trouble. But like my neighbors have a rescue dog and she's amazing, but they did say that she was like terrified of people for a long time. It took a very long time for them to train her the way she is now, and I don't really have the patience for that. So
yeah, exactly. But mate, me and Chris are like on completely different pages. She sees like rescue dogs on Facebook all the time. She's like, "Oh my god, look at this dog." I'm like, no. No. We live in a tiny flat. We already have a dog, which is amazing. Why on earth would you complicate our lives even further? Especially if we're going to have a child. Are you mental? She's like, but look at it. I'm like, mate, no.
I know I can't be on those things. Like I stopped. I used to subscribe to like all those things. And I used to watch like animal rescue shows and like all these things. And I just like, I stopped because I was just like gonna have animals all over the place. And I really can't handle the cleaning. Like I'm really not excited about that. But I told Jamie, I'm like, if we get a dog, vacuuming is your responsibility. Like I am not doing that all the time. I'm actually kind of a little worried that I'm going to get more UTIs too. Just from like the dog bacteria, but I don't think that's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking that.
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, probably.
So my friend Benji sent me this post recently because they're going to get a dog. Benji and Roz, they're my friends. They live in Portugal, and it was a dog called Roger, a rescue dog, very cute. But you could tell that this write-up had been written by AI, and it was very, very well articulated. And even after reading it, I was like, "Oh, I want Roger." Roger sounds like an amazing dog. What a beautiful dog. But yeah, the write-up was so amazingly articulated. It was almost like this dog is the most amazing dog ever. It'll be the perfect dog for any situation, whatever your home situation is. It'll fit right in, no problem.
Yeah.
And there's also, you can see how many people have liked the post, and you're like, well, if I don't get Roger, someone else might get Roger. So let's get Roger, And I remember thinking, yeah, very, very cleverly written. But also, you had those telltale signs that's been written by AI, and I was like, very good, ChatGPT, very good. You almost got me.
Speaking of AI, that was a good segue. I read this post on Facebook last week, and actually, I sent it to you, and we were chatting about it. And it basically said that like to not outsource your creative endeavors to ChatGPT or AI because it's essentially stealing like a culmination of other people's ideas and like plagiarizing them as your own. And I thought that was such an interesting concept because I was like, if you get it to write like an essay or you get it to write something like that, that is a creative thing, like a story or a novel, then it is sort of just like pulling from like all of the sources on the internet and, extrapolating from them to create something new. But is it something new, or is it just like a bunch of like stolen ideas? So I wanted to ask you about that because I know you love ChatGPT so much. And I actually use an AI thing to do some photos for my website. So I'll show you those in a minute, but I wanted to get your take on that post.
Okay, well, I think it's such an interesting topic because I use AI. Well, I said I use it a lot. Where do I want to go with this? Let me take a deep breath.
Yeah.
I think AI is a fantastic tool, and I use it in a way that I'm comfortable with. But I know that some people use it more than others. Some people use it a dangerous amount. There's always those extreme versions that you hear on the internet about AI being extreme. But generally speaking, the people that I know that use it in a very, it's just a very, very handy tool. So Christina recently challenged me to not use ChatGPT for 2 days. She was like, if you don't use ChatGPT for 2 days, I'll give you a very special massage. And so I was like, oh well, okay, that sounds good. And there was just these things like, for example, I wanted to know something and I had to Google it. And I had to find some wanky website and scroll down to find the information that I wanted. And it was so clunky. And I've just become so used to just asking it, what's this? And then just being like, oh, amazing. Get the information immediately. And it's so handy. So going back to the old clunky way, even though it's amazing to be able to have all the information and just go to the website, it's so clunky. So yeah, it was difficult. But then, there were loads of things I just like wanted. It's such a handy tool that you like, oh, I'll just ask my mate. For example, if we have a disagreement about, or not a disagreement, but like an answer that I wonder if, like pregnancy, we've had loads of questions about pregnancy lately. Oh, I wonder what and we just ask ChatGPT and it comes up with so many good answers. It's I love using it. So it is such a handy tool. But saying that, when it comes to doing, remember I said that I did that magic trick with the banana. I remember thinking I will not use ChatGPT. I'll try and do this creative project by myself because I want to challenge myself creatively. It can't just be like, oh, ChatGPT, what's a banana? What's a magic trick with using a banana? All these constraints, because I didn't want to outsource my creativity. I didn't want to lose that creative spark. So yeah, I mean, I think it's such a valuable tool, but I do agree that if you use it for creativity, it will dull your the tools you already have, like creative spark, if you always outsource it.
Yeah. I think I have a hard time I think it's a great tool for knowledge translation. Like I was talking to my brother about this and he uses it so much for work because he is an instrumentation technician. So he goes out in the field to do things. There's tons of different manuals for all these different like valves and things like that for all the gas plants and stuff that he's servicing. And he's like, it would take me so long to like filter through all these things, but I could just be like, I look the serial number, I do this, I ask ChatGPT, it brings up the manual for me, it brings up the exact spot in the manual. Like he said, it's so good for that knowledge translation. And he also uses it for he said, I just like dictate into it what I'm doing all day and it fills out my tickets for me. So it's like a tool for like productivity. And he's like, that's not like plagiarizing somebody's saying, that's literally my information. It's in my brother, is really smart. So he's like, once you populate it enough with your own information, it's drawing from your information. Like he's like, it's not taking from the internet, it's taking from things that you've given it. And it's extrapolating from that. So I thought that was an interesting thing because I was always like, oh, it's just like, it is a great search engine. Like my brother said, he uses that instead of Google. He's like, it's my new search engine. That's all I use it for. And he's like, that's not bad. It's just taking information from the internet and summarizing it into something that's easy to understand. So I thought that was a really interesting take. But I do think, like you said, if you're read like an essay or something like that, I do think that it should be your information, because if you're using it to write whole things or whatever, which I know that you don't do and most people don't do, but I use it to write YouTube descriptions a lot. Like I say
Mm.
bullet points, here's what we're going to talk about. And then it'll give me something that's like very eloquent in a way that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would take longer for me to do. But things like my newsletter, I would never use that chat GPT to write that. If it was like an information thing, like here's an update from Empowered Para, maybe. But like if it's like an actual letter that I'm writing to people, I would never do it. But anyway, I just wanted your take on that.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to show you guys. I use this.
Before you go into the pictures, I will add. I do have something to add on that
Oh,
because
sure.
I do
Okay.
I actually do use it. I figure I've got two polarizing examples, right? So yes, I do use it for example, I've got into a really lazy habit of I hadn't considered this creativity, but I guess it is. But like writing emails. So for example, if someone emails me. Say for example, I need to order my catheters and I have to order that in French. I'll be like, okay, I need to do it like a voice note, right? ChatGPT, I need to order some catheters, or I need to cancel my next. I've got too many catheters, whatever. I need to give them this information, this information, this information. Can you write up a nice, polite email, give it to me in English and in French so I can copy and paste it and send it? And boom, done. And if I've got into the habit of if I need to write emails for whatever reason, I will do that because it's so easy. And that is taking away a little bit of my, skill of like writing, especially in French, which would have been challenging. But it's just so easy. But the other example was when I was with my niece recently, or my goddaughter, should we say? She was had to make a Christmas card for like it was this. You have to draw a Christmas card and then you can get it printed and then sort of reprinted and then you sell them in the local community kind of thing. I don't. If I'm explaining that well. Anyway, the task was create a Christmas card. And I was there, and I was like, "Oh, okay. So Maisie, we're going to do this, you and I, right? What do you like?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know, really know." And then she came up with K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Couldn't believe how popular it was. Wildly popular among the kids. Anyway, I said, "Oh, okay, great. So we can use a reference image, but already their mum, like her mum and dad, were like using ChatGPT to make K-pop Demon Hunter Christmas cards and like, oh, what about this? And I'm like, well, that's completely outsourcing the creativity. Like, why don't we see what the K-pop Demon Hunters look like? So one of them, they're very distinctive. One of them's got a big purple braid, for example.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, why don't we try and draw them? And what would you like to do? Like, for example, we came up with we drew them and then we came up with the slogan "Slaying Christmas" because they're demon hunters, and I thought that was quite good. But because there were three of them, I also said, I was like, oh, we could also put ho, ho, ho. So anyway, we were, and I thought that was like a nice interaction with like a 9-year-old. I'm trying to encourage her to be creative and her, while her parents are there, like, and this isn't a dig. I'm just saying this is like, they're using ChatGPT and I'm trying to like, encourage, cause she's 9 years old, right? I don't want her to grow up and outsource her creativity to ChatGPT at such a young age, like you can like, let's draw it, even if it's rubbish. Like you're a 9-year-old, it's meant to be rubbish. You know what I mean? Like it's meant to be scrappy. So I drew a really cool, I wish I had a picture of it, but the K-pop Demon Hunters. And it was a bit rough around the edges, but it was really cool. They had Christmas hats on, and it said "Slaying Christmas." And then she copied my drawing, which was really nice. And it was interesting to see that you can easily outsource that. And
you totally, especially with the artistic stuff, like I used ChatGPT to make stickers. And which I'll put on my website on like my merch store or whatever, but they were so good. Like it was like a tough dude in a wheelchair that said like, nah, I'm not disabled. I just upgraded to 4-wheel drive. And then like another girl that was like, I put the hot in Hot Wheels, and the girl was like so cool looking. And I was just like, cause I was trying to like find something on like Canva or whatever, and I can't draw. And it did such a good job in like 2.5 seconds. And I like wrote the things. I just needed the people, right? The cool pictures, and it did a great job. And I really think that it did a good job when this AI, photo shoot thing. I think it like decently looks like me, so I'm gonna show you guys some of the ones.
Yeah.
So this is I think that's the one that I actually used on my website, because I hated the picture on my website because it was actually from a modeling photo shoot that was on my website that my cousin put on there, but it was like it was it was not me. Like it was for like a kind of a sexier photo shoot, and they're not even sexy. I was wearing like, yeah, I just didn't like it. So that's one of them.
So
That's
can I
another one.
ask what program did you use to do this?
I will
Was it
look it
Gemini?
up. No, it's not Gemini. It's headshots.io or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's specifically just headshots, like professional headshots. But I think it did a good job. Like it looks like me. It
Yeah.
doesn't not look like me. There was a whole bunch of them. There was like 25 of them. And I think I paid like $70 to download all of them. But I have like a bunch of headshots now for like any professional thing that I'm doing. And I thought it was like decent. And there's like they're all good. There's like 5 that don't quite look like me. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys. So
Yeah.
yeah, those are the AI photos, and I thought they did a pretty good job. I don't know if
They are
anybody would
good.
be able to tell, but
They are,
yeah,
they are very good. Yeah, yeah. You could use Gemini though. Gemini is a new one. It's called Nano Banana. I don't know if you've heard of it or maybe not.
I
But
did hear. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that is fantastic. Really good, and it's free as well. So it's up.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
but
I paid $70 for like 20 photos, so hopefully
I'll
I
show
don't
you.
try
I don't know if
Gemini
I
and
could.
it's way better.
I don't know if I could find one, but I'll just explain it to you because it might even be funnier. But I took a picture of me at the gym, and I said just for funsies, oh, make me even musclier. It gave me like the most gigantic arms ever. It looked so funny. Um, just it was so funny because I said, "Oh, make my arms a bit musclier," and it was just so comical. But it looked really real. Like it looked
Yeah.
so real, and I just thought, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could easily, like I say. I also said I took a photo and I said, "Oh, give me a six pack," and it really like made me really sculpted and very very muscular, and it looked very real because it was just one of those like those selfie ones. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I don't like post them or anything, but I like to take little pumped up photos after the gym every now and then, not very often. But I remember being like, that looks so real that I could post that on Instagram or something. I don't use Instagram, but if I did and be like, oh, making progress in the gym, totally believable, totally so realistic. People would think, oh my god, Fred, you're so jacked, and you could get so many compliments because it was insanely realistic. I wonder if I can
Yeah.
quickly find the photo actually, but
That's really fun. You should find it. That's one thing that I actually have a huge, like, that's one of my pet peeves is the filter culture. Cause I'm like, we never know what's real. And that's the one thing I don't like about these photos. I'm just gonna put it up again. My skin is so clear. I'm like, my skin is definitely not that clear. It's like, especially now that I have rosacea. That's that's too much.
that's the one. That's the one
Where
that was
where your arms are
that was too
jacked.
much. Where's the one? Oh yeah, look at this one though. This one looks actually. This one looks like it could be real, right?
Oh yeah, that one looks so real.
Right? That's not me. The original is I'm much softer.
Are those your
yeah,
real
oh, I
arms
did.
though?
Where's the original?
I was like, those
Oh
are
no,
that's really funny.
that's the original. There you go. Not so impressive.
Well, but your arms are like still really jacked though.
Well, it's not quite as. And I did this one as well of me and Chris, which is just like
Oh my god, they gave her like massive boobs. Like
that was me. I said that was part of the prompt. I was like, whoop.
why is she small chested like me?
No, I was just like, why not? If
That's
you're gonna
funny.
doctor the photo, give her the heavies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do not understand. I understand why guys like big boobs, but like no woman wants them. I'm like, I always say, because I have like, I'm actually like a C cup, but like if you understand like bra sizing, your boobs are either like skinny or wide and shallow or big this way. So I have like wide and shallow boobs. So like they almost touch in the middle and they go all the way to the edge, but they're not like big this way. So I'm like a C cup, but a very small back size. And it's really hard to find bras for my boob size, but I'm always like, why would anybody want bigger boobs than that? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense because mine, if I take off my bra, they're just exactly where they sit. They're not like, whoop, like you like, I'm just like, why would anybody want that?
I was just imagining the devotees just being like, "Tell me again, the dimensions, just
That's hilarious.
visualizing them. They're like this.
I
How
told
deep?
you.
They go from the middle. How wide?
I told you I'm the queen of TMI, and it's like people are like, nobody needs to know that, Brittany. I'm like, I'm educating you on like bra sizing, but it is like I think I've like I don't know. I can't really tell you how small my boobs are, Marco. He says C is not small, right? They are small. They're not big this way, but I don't like you can see them. They're not like a tiny boob or anything like that, but like I don't know. I always like the saying anything more than a handful is a waste. Because like, what do you need more than that for? So,
Well,
and
you
it
know, just
just gets heavy, and I wouldn't want heavy boobs. I know like so many people who've gotten breast reductions, but I see why guys like them. I definitely see why guys like them, and I see when you're young how they can like complement a figure. It's just when you start to get older, that's not so much. They don't complement the figure. So
I can't. I know what you mean. Like if you think about it, they're just like like what is it? Like low body fat generally is quite attractive, yeah, but big boobs are just body fat, right? They're just boobs, right? So I don't know what it is that makes them so attractive, but I am a sucker. I am attracted to big boobs. You know, I'm just a human being, you know, I'm only flesh and bone. I'm like, woo. So I don't know what it is, you know, but yeah,
they definitely look good on a petite figure, or not even a petite figure, like you know, somebody that's got like a shapely figure. And I just think like as you start to get old, I see so many people as they start to age, what happens to the boobies that, you know, gravity takes a hold of. So I'd rather have less boobies for gravity to take a hold of. That's my take on that. But was the funny.
I was going to highlight this comment real quick, just in case you missed it, Marco. That was an AI. That wasn't me. Like the softer version, that was me. The one where I looked absolutely jacked, that was AI. So yeah, I'm definitely not 2%. 2% body fat is very unhealthy. I watched a little thing about body fat, and it was if you have low enough body fat, it is like that low. It is very, very unhealthy.
Yeah, so unhealthy. Especially for women, like women that get 7% body fat, like that starts to get unhealthy.
Yeah, I saw a program about it recently. There was a girl who'd done it for like bodybuilding and modeling, and she like lost her period, her hair were falling out and stuff like that, and so 30% body fat on women kind of looks like 20% body fat on men. Like women, like 30% sounds a lot, right? But a 30% woman like is probably like normal, and a 20% man is like fairly normal. I would say I was probably like 20% body fat. So yeah, it's really interesting how anyway, this is a tangent, but yeah.
It's very interesting the health implications of body fat, and too much is bad and not enough is bad. And there's a thing that like a lot of people with spinal cord injuries, so that this is sort of relevant right now, that you like I just thought about this, is that we can be something called like skinny fat because our legs and our muscle tissue that is paralyzed turns to fat. So we can have a very normal BMI, like our overall body weight for how tall we are, but have too high of a body fat percentage. So we can actually be something like, I think it's like skinny obese or something like that. So we can actually be considered obese, even though we're not not an abnormal BMI, which is like an interesting concept. I want to go get my body fat tested just to see if I'm actually considered like obese, skinny obese or whatever. And it's still like, it's the percentage of body fat that actually causes the secondary health complications, which is why so many people that are paralyzed, even if they are a normal body weight, still suffer from some of the secondary health complications like metabolic syndrome and diabetes and all that stuff. So that is a tangent, but something we can get into another day.
On the secondary complications, it was interesting because we went to the lake earlier, and it was a really lovely. We went up there for a picnic, and Chris started talking to me about all the things that we could do if I wasn't in a wheelchair, and I remember thinking, yeah, that would be lovely. We could do all these things, and I don't normally think being in a wheelchair sucks because it is my normal day-to-day thing, right? You don't dwell on it, right? However, I had started thinking, Oh man, yeah, there are so many things that hold me back, and then the secondary complications with the urethral trauma and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, I just kind of like started getting really sad about the things that I couldn't do because we were talking about them. And like I say, normally that doesn't really enter my mind, but I just thought I'd bring it up with you. Like, obviously there are times, like probably with your children actually, that you've mentioned in the past, that like they're just very apparent that there are physical barriers that you can't do. Maybe going around your home every day doesn't really come up, but we were talking about all the things that I used to do, before, and if there was a magic wand, what's the first thing you do, etc. And I was like, oh, I'd love to go ride my bike. She's like, oh, you swap your wheels for some more wheels, and we were having a laugh about it. But I remember thinking, yeah, there is loads of things. Well, I think it was just the what made me sad was the how much my life has changed and how much I've become a homebody. Like, I just stay in quite a lot these days. The winter's coming as well. It doesn't really help. It's not very attractive to go out when it's raining and cold. But I remember I was so outdoorsy, and it's just changed my life. And so I never really think about it. I never really dwell on it. But I was dwelling on it today, and I just wanted to ask you actually. Do you ever think about it? I mean, maybe occasionally, but
I do, and I feel like that it's like it's counterproductive most of the time, because it instead of having a grateful heart, you're kind of having that like bitter, like pitiful sort of heart. So I don't think it's something that I try to focus on like you try to focus on the good things, but every once in a while you just have like one of those days where you're like, Jamie wants to go hiking. Like, I see one of her friends' parents is they're like fitness coaches in our community, and they do a lot of like photos of their family adventures, and they go on hikes and mountain biking and all that stuff. And I feel sorry for my kids that isn't part of, not that like we would do that if we were able-bodied, maybe we wouldn't do that at all, but there's just the fact that we can't. Makes me sad that I can't do that with her if she wants to. And she's like, I want to go hiking. And me thinking about the hikes that I can go on with her are very few. And it's just sad. And I want to have that part of life with her, but I can't. And it's just frustrating. So I totally get what you mean. I get what you mean 100%, knowing that I'm never going to like crunch leaves in the fall, or be able to build a snowman with my kids, or, my nieces and nephews, just any of that stuff. You just have to be okay with it. On the weekend when I was at my brother's, they went for a little quad ride because they live on a big acreage or a big farm. And my niece, who's 3, she goes, are you going to come, Auntie? And I was like, no, I'll probably stay here. And she goes, well, you can get out of your wheelchair if you want to. And she didn't even assume that I wasn't going to go. And like, my brother's like, oh, yeah, like come if you want. And I'm like, nah, it's cold. I have to get in all my, winter stuff. You got to get me on there depending on where we go. I'm not sure if I'll be able to hold on properly. So I just didn't want to go because it was kind of getting dark and stuff. But my niece was just like, she had that thing that was just like, you can come if you want to, like, it's okay.
yeah.
You don't have to be in your wheelchair all the time. And that like, innocence and, pure thinking is like, oh, I wish the world was, I wish I could get out of my wheelchair all the time when I wanted to. But
Yeah, that's that kind of sweet innocence. How did you deal with that? What did you say?
I just said that it was cold. I didn't say I didn't want to go because of my wheelchair, because I didn't want her to think people in wheelchairs can't go. So I was just like, you know what? It's a little bit cold outside and there's not very much room on the quad. So you guys go and have fun. And she was like, okay. And I was like, I'm just going to stay here with Mom so she's not alone with the baby. And so
But what about when she said that you can get out of your wheelchair? Does she understand that you can't get out of your wheelchair?
I also don't want her to think that, so I didn't really say that. I did say that if I said, well, Daddy would have to lift me and get me on the quad because I can't use my legs and stuff. So I did say that, but I didn't say that I couldn't go. I just said that I didn't want to go because I have gone quadding before. It's not that I don't go. But she's just so innocent at that age. Like, she wants me to come down the stairs with her, and she's like this. And she just like walks down the stairs, up and down the stairs 3 times. Like, I'll show you. It's easy. And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, my legs don't work like yours. And then but she's got a little Barbie in a wheelchair, and she understands
really?
disability a little bit. Yeah. Well, I bought her the Barbie in a wheelchair, and then she brought me the Barbie when I was there, not in the wheelchair. I was like, oh, where's the Barbie's wheelchair? And she's like, oh yeah, the Barbie has a wheelchair. So she went and like got the wheelchair. But yeah, she's just very cute and innocent and doesn't really, she's trying to show me this is how you do it. I'll show you how to walk.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I'm interested to know what the wheelchair looks like. The little wheelchair. Is it like a hospital chair or is it like an active chair?
It's a cool chair. Yeah, they
Nice,
did a good
good.
job. The Barbie people did a good job of the wheelchair. So I think it's a cool wheelchair. They even sell it with like a ramp and all kinds of stuff for accessories.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
That's really cool. Yeah, I just made me think, like, what does that look like? I've never heard of a Barbie in a wheelchair, but what does the actual wheelchair look like? Is it some clunky hospital chair that she gets pushed around in, or is she like a cool Barbie who pushes herself around in a little active chair or something like that? So
no, it's pretty active. I'm glad that is happening. Even like the dolls in wheelchairs, like there's a couple. I think they're like American Girl dolls or something. They have like a wheelchair version, and the wheelchair is not sucky. So I think they're trying to make it less, the medical model of disability and more the like lifestyle model or whatever. Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
I've got a good one today. Oh, I've also been doing magic on Omegle recently. Do you know what Omegle is? It's like what it used to be called, or there's another one called chat roulette. It's kind of like this, like you and I are talking, but like random people pop up all the time.
I know what Omegle is. That's the one where you just like like it every 90 seconds or whatever you get a new person. It was like a huge trend on TikTok where people would like film their Omegle thing, and it was like a danger for kids, and there was like a whole thing about it like 2 years ago.
Yeah. I've got some funny comments here. Marco says Omegle, and then he's put that aubergine emoji, wink, wink.
100%.
So, yeah. So I said to this guy, I was like, oh, hey, man, do you want to see a magic trick? He's like,
no.
Don't get your dick out. Whatever you do, don't get your dick out. I was like, I'm not going to get my dick out. I was like, I just want to show you a magic trick. It was so funny.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
Is the Barbie
have you
house...
ever gotten a royal flush in poker? Marco, yes, I have got a royal flush in poker one time many years ago. And it was, it was all right. It was just a house game, but very rare. We saw a royal flush a couple of years ago at the home game. It wasn't me that got it. It was my friend Nick. So, yeah, they're quite rare.
Is the Barbie house accessible? Yeah, there's an elevator. There's an elevator in it. Yeah. The Barbie house is accessible, which it's giant, but it is accessible.
Nice. Right, are you ready, Brittany? I've got a very special pack of cards here. As you can see that they're all... Oh, actually, can you see that? I'm going to try and...
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so all the cards are different. So all the backs are different. Every single card is from a different deck.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something right now. I don't know if you can see. Right, I'm going to take 2 random cards out the deck just here. Okay. Try and keep those in the shot. Now listen, I'm going to start dealing down cards like this, and I just want you to say stop whenever you like.
Stop.
You sure?
Yeah.
One more, or this one?
That one.
Okay, we're going to pop that down there. Okay, and I'm going to do it the same again, okay? But whenever you feel ready.
Stop.
That one there?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pop them down there. Now, as I said before, all of the cards in the deck are completely different. They're all from different decks, okay? So we're going to see where you stopped at. So you stopped here.
Okay.
And you stopped... Where is the other one? Oh, there. Okay, excellent. So we'll move that one. Okay, so hopefully you can see... I've got a bit of a... Okay, so you can see the rest of the cards are here. Okay, so you stopped here and here, which is really random. So actually, look, like I say, all these cards are different, and you actually stopped at 2 cards that were actually fairly similar.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. But the other thing is that's so weird because like this night you stopped here, and you stopped at the other black 9.
No.
Which is crazy, right? And then this one here, you stopped.
No.
At the other 3.
What?
Yeah, that's so crazy, right? And you know, I said that all of these cards were completely different and they're all from different
Yeah.
decks.
Yeah.
Well, I actually lied. There are actually a few cards that are from the same deck. In fact, these two cards are from the same deck.
No.
And these two cards are also from the same deck,
What?
which is crazy, right? But also, what if I told you that there's only one way that this trick could have ever gone? Because actually, look, if you watch, all the other cards are completely
What?
blank.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ta-da!
Oh my god. That's crazy. What the fuck? I don't know how you do that. Like, I said stop. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my
There you go.
god. That's crazy. No, there's no time lapse. We're like doing this live. James says time lapse. No, we're doing this live.
Oh, there might have
Uh,
been a like. Remember, I did the trick last week, and there was uh, like a
a
glitch,
delay.
where it paused. Yeah, that was
Oh,
so frustrating because a lot of people that were watching it back were like, "Oh, that was there was a glitch," like, and I couldn't manufacture that glitch at the time. It was just
no.
unfortunate, but
Yeah.
yeah, luckily that hopefully
Yeah.
there wasn't one there. So
That
yeah,
was awesome. I'm just gonna see if we like missed any comments or anything like that. I don't think so. I think we were pretty good staying on top. We were talking about that. Yeah, I think James says, why no chair in your homepage? Because I changed my homepage photo from me in a wheelchair that I did not like to this like AI thing. I will change it to a photo in a wheelchair at some point. I just did not like that other photo because it didn't like it wasn't me. So I'll put a photo in a wheelchair, and I couldn't get AI to put me in a wheelchair. It was just headshots, like from the chest up. So that's why no photo in a wheelchair. But
you could definitely get Gemini to do that. I'll send you it. In
you
fact,
do it. Yeah,
I'll
send it to me.
get you. You send me some photos, and I'll get Gemini and I'll send them back to you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, they're really
That
good.
sounds fun. I want to give a quick shout out to one of the people on here that is watching, Nolan Watson. So he is part of my like Patreon community, and he has a audio mastering business called White Wolf Mastering. So you can go to whitewolfmastering.com. So if you want any audio mastering done, which is basically just like sound, like the volume stuff, I think, don't quote me, but it's like finishing, essentially like finished carpentry but for sound.
Drop a
And
link. Drop a link
yeah,
in the
yeah,
comments,
I'll actually do that right now.
or get
White
Nolan to do it.
Oh yeah, he could do that.
Oh yeah,
White
you
Wolf
could do it. Whatever. Yeah.
Mastering.com. See if that works. Hopefully that worked. I didn't do www. Whitewolfmastering.com. You get it. Anyway, I just wanted to give him a little bit of a shout out because yeah, he's very talented and awesome. He's a wonderful writer. I don't know why he doesn't do more writing. He's a very good writer. He wrote a book of poetry that I am currently reading, and I can't remember what that's called either, but like I should have brought that because it's a very good book of poetry that follows the same like story arc as Dante's Inferno, I believe. Very good. Rise Above the Pack. Is that no? That's not it. Is it? What is it? No, I don't know. Anyway, I thought he was putting in the comments. It's not Rise Above the Pack. It's something else. But anyway, that's my shout out. I wanted to give Nolan a shout out. And he's from my local community, so that's so cool. Not very many people that I like that follow me and that I like meet online are actually from like the local area, and he is. So I actually get to meet him soon. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I concur. He is a good egg.
Through the fire.
He's on my Patreon as well. So nice,
Through the
nice one,
fire.
Nolan.
There. That's the book, Through the Fire. So if you want to check that out, it's very good poetry. Yeah, I might get rid of my Patreon. Actually, I'm pretty positive that I'm gonna get
Pilgrimage of poetry.
Yeah.
Why are you getting rid of your Patreon?
So I think I'm going to change my Patreon over to a school community. It's just more interactive because Patreon is more like I post stuff, I can post stuff, and people can comment. Whereas the school community, I'm going to do a bunch of things on there. So I'm going to start a thing, and I think I'm just going to call it the Happy, Healthy, Awesome Tribe because that's like my tagline. But I'm going to go live every day that I work out with my my shoulder hygiene and my wrist and stuff hygiene, things that I want to stay accountable for. So if you want to be part of like this community, I will post it at probably by next Tuesday. I'll have all the info. And then you can stay accountable with me, or you can just be a fly on the wall for my like health journey kind of thing. And then it's interactive. So I'm still trying to figure out how, if I can post like just the video so that you guys get ad-free videos over there, because you can like post in the classroom. So the classroom might just be like my free YouTube videos without ads in them. But Patreon isn't interactive enough for me, and I don't think that people engage a lot on there. So I think I'm probably going to change my YouTube and have a YouTube membership for anybody that just wants like the free video without ads or whatever. I'm not sure, but Patreon just doesn't fill me up as much because it's not as interactive as I like. And I think that people comment on there, but it's mostly me talking at people instead of it being a conversation or a real community. So I'm just going to change it to something that, I'll change it. And if I don't like it, then I can change it back. But got to try something different to see if it'll be better.
I'll be really interested to see what you come up with, actually, because you're the one who encouraged me to get a Patreon in the first place. Yeah. And I know what you mean. Like the engagement's quite low. Like I put like people pay money to be on my Patreon, and I put all my videos out there like early access, and hardly anyone watches them or like comments or likes them. And then I put them on the main channel, and then they get a lot of stuff. So I'm like, well, I don't know if the people on Patreon are just like wanting to support me for whatever reason, but like it is a even like the people that I follow on Patreon, which I love, like even they are like really, really good creators, and they get hardly any engagement on some of their posts. And I'm like, oh, so it feels like a low engagement platform for some reason.
It does, and it's an income stream for sure. Like that's why I think a lot of creators do it, because you get to keep more of the like money than on YouTube. So I think it's like an income stream. So if you like supporting a creator and you just want to help them, it's similar to like, because Marco says, what about buy me a coffee, Brit? That also is just like I don't know. I've never been on that platform. I think you've been on that platform. But for me, I really want to build a community of people because I like the community of people. I like doing this. I like talking to people. And I like other people talking to people within the community, like in the comments. I love that the people who are here regularly get to know each other. And I love that in my Patreon Zoom Hangouts, people know each other and we all kind of get to discuss what's happening in each other's lives and stuff. So that is my idea, to make that better. So I'm hoping it's going to be sort of just a place for everybody to be positive, happy, healthy. We all get to work on whatever goals we're working on together. And then I'll also keep the Zoom Hangouts. So I'll still have the Empowered Para Zoom Hangouts. I'm just hoping that the engagement will grow. And that community is going to be free for anybody that wants to join the community, and they can engage with each other and my content. But then if you want the Zoom Hangouts with me, then you'll have to pay the $10 to support me in that way and get access to sort of some of the like perks that would be more engagement with me. And then I'll have, somebody else was asking here, Ben, are you still planning the courses for newly disabled people? I am still planning that. I'm going to have that as a separate community called Paralysis School. And I'm going to do that with like just newly injured people. So the Happy, Healthy, Awesome Tribe is going to be for anybody, able-bodied, disabled. I'm sure that there's mostly going to be disabled people in there. But it will be for anybody. And then I'll try and have like monthly guests or whatever as like Zoom Hangouts, if I can line that up. So I'm planning a bunch of stuff just to make the engagement better and to be able to build a better community around Empowered Para. But I'm going to do the courses for people that are newly disabled. And that's going to be like exclusively for people that are like in their first year of injury, so that it's just a more safe, intimate. And that one will be a paid community for people that want to pay to get education and support faster than what they might be getting in the hospital. So
nice.
Yeah, Ben, you should email me, please, because I'm never going to remember to email you. I always forget. So email me about, because Ben says I'd gladly help with that. I'm an e-learning developer. Yawn. Yeah, let's talk. And if you email me, then we can chat about what you normally set up your what your e-learning platform is or whatever. So anyway,
Sounds
yeah.
good. Right, yo then. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for being part of it. Thanks for all you guys
Yeah.
watching and all the guys that you will watch afterwards. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.